Welcome to Good Morning Ithaca. I'm your host Alexis, and today we will have a very special episode. We all know the trials that King Odysseus has been through to get home from the Trojan War. What we don't know is what the women who encountered him went through. Today's special guests are the goddess Athena, the enchantress Circe, the nymph Calypso, and our queen Penelope. Now let's welcome out of Mount Olympus the gray-eyed goddess Athena. Welcome to Ithaca, Lady Athena. How are you enjoying this day on our fair island?
Thank you for the welcome, Alexis. I am quite enjoying Ithaca. It is a pleasant change of pace from Mount Olympus.
What made you first decide to help King Odysseus get back home safely?
Well, Odysseus was always one of my favorites, being both intelligent and a warrior. But I guess I really started helping him when he came up with the idea for the Trojan horse. There were some decisions he made along the trip that I wasn't too proud of, but as long as he kept praying to me, I would keep him alive.
Do you think helping Odysseus was worth angering Poseidon?
Well, Uncle was never really happy with me, ever since the Athens incident when my olives reviewed his horse, so I didn't lose much favor there.
Well, I imagine he wouldn't be too happy with losing Athens. What is your opinion of Odysseus and his men?
Obviously, I favor Odysseus, but his men are a few logs short of a roaring fire.
Why did you allow Odysseus' men to raid the Ciconian island?
I thought the men needed to improve their character, and what better way than to be beaten by a defenseless village?
Do you think the men learned their lesson?
I think they did learn to look before they attack.
When Odysseus and his men threw their booty overboard and drew away Poseidon's naiads, why didn't he prevent them from being blown clean across the sea?
I was too busy trying to keep Uncle from killing the men to worry about them being blown into Africa. I knew they would be fine if they were simply blown off course, but if Father's lightning bolt hit the ship, they would die immediately. Basically, I had other priorities.
Why didn't Odysseus fall into the spell of the lotus stars like his men?
I protected him from the addictive effects. The rest was all dependent on how strong he was.
He must have been quite strong to resist and carry his men back to the ship.
He didn't carry the men, he dragged them.
All the same, he proved his strength and loyalty to his men, especially when it came to Polyphemus.
I was very proud of him for how he tricked Polyphemus, but I was not pleased when the fool caught out his name. I admit I abandoned him to teach him a lesson in arrogance, which the man still has to learn.
I agree, he was very foolish for shouting his name to the Cyclops. Why did you not warn him that Polyphemus was the son of Poseidon and that he had already angered the god of the sea?
I thought he needed to learn a lesson.
Well, I'm sure he learned quite a few lessons from his trip and all the dangers he faced. Do you think he may have had less trouble had he not called out his name?
Of course, because Poseidon was only slightly upset with him with the naiads, but the curse made it personal.
One would think so. Odysseus and his men had been through a troublesome ordeal already and had high hopes of returning home. When Odysseus landed on Olympus Island and was given the wings, did you think the men would finally return home, or did you think that curiosity would get the best of them?
Going back to my earlier statement, the men are a few logs short of a roaring fire. I knew the men were not going to sit around and do nothing with a mystery bag on the boat, and I knew they were not going to resist the temptation to open the bag. I did not realize the morons would get so close before they released the wind. They were idiots.
Why is it, do you think, that Odysseus did not just tell the men about the dangers of opening the bag of wings? And how did you feel about Poseidon tricking the men into thinking the bag was filled with treasure?
Arrogance led the man to keep the bag for himself, and I knew Uncle probably had a trick up his sleeve for Odysseus and the men not to make it home. The selfish immortal wanted to make the trip longer for them, and he just had to make them open the bag when they could see their houses.
I imagine they regretted greatly opening the bag of wings when they were so close to their home.
Yes, I'd imagine they would.
When the men encountered the sirens, what did you think of their plans to escape?
I was the one who gave Odysseus the idea to use beeswax earplugs and tie himself to the mast so he could hear the song. I honestly did not expect it to work out as well as it did. I was surprised he managed not to break the mast.
So Odysseus plugged his men's ears but did not plug his own?
Correct. He wanted to be the only one to hear the siren song and live. He also needed to hear the changes in the ocean so he could stay en route.
Okay. So he and his men survived the sirens, and then what?
They sailed into the pass of Scylla and Charybdis.
I heard that it was a very narrow strait, hardly big enough for the ship to fit through. So he had to go towards one or the other, correct?
Yes, he had to choose who he would lose men to. He chose to go to Scylla, seeing as losing 6 men is better than losing the whole ship.
Naturally. So after they escaped Scylla and Charybdis, they landed on Thernacia, where they were told not to eat the cattle that were there. Did the men listen?
Naturally, the men did not listen to good advice. They merely listened to their stomachs and other mortal needs.
So what happened?
The men killed the cattle, ate the beef, and tried to give some to Odysseus, who was mooed at by a cowskin. The god noticed his cattle were depleted and persuaded Father to loose a lightning bolt on the ship, killing all the men but Odysseus.
The skin mooted him? That's not creepy at all. Anyway, Odysseus survived the lightning bolt and Calypso found him. We will have her story later, but what happened after Odysseus left her island?
He almost drowned at sea, but was helped out by a naiad named Ino, who wasn't too pleased with Poseidon. Ino gave him her veil to wear, and he floated to Phaeacia, where he entertained the court and gained passage home to Ithaca.
Looks like that's all the time we have for our goddess today. Thank you for your time, Athena.
It was a pleasure being here.
Our next guest will be the enchantress Odyssey, but first a word from our sponsors.
Welcome back. Good morning, Ithaca. Alexis just finished our interview with the goddess Athena on her view of Odysseus' long trip home after the Trojan War. Now, everyone, let's welcome the enchantress Circe. Welcome to Ithaca, Circe.
Glad to be here. Ithaca is the spirit of the king that rules it.
Sure it is. Circe, you are known for luring men with your song and feeding them and turning them into animals. Why is it that you do that? By the way, can I get the spell and autograph?
I release men from their problems and turn them into their true selves. Some are pigs like Odysseus' men. As far as the spell, I don't care to tell mortals much, and no, you can't have my autograph.
Very interesting. So when you saw Odysseus' men, you offered to feed them and then turn them into pigs. But when Odysseus came to you and you fed him, it didn't work. What was your reaction to the failure of your spell?
It was not a failure. The fact of the matter was that he had help from the gods. Don't ever call my spell a failure. Anyway, I was very surprised and angry. I had never had someone to be unaffected by my spell. Plus, it really made me mad when he snapped my wand in half. How dare that fool?
When did you decide to hold Odysseus captive?
I had already decided to hold him captive when I saw him. I was going to add him to my collection, but that mortal was immune to my spell. But I guess I was really attracted to him and received me with his sword and forced me to swear the oath of the immortals.
So you fell in love with a man who held you at sword point and forced you to swear an oath after trying to spell him, turning him into a failure? That's right, I called your spell a failure. What are you going to do about it? Turn me into a frog? Go ahead and make my day.
Yes, I did. What, do you have a problem with me? Because we can solve it right here. And my spell is not a failure. If you ever dare call it a failure again, I will force you to eat my food and I'll personally turn you into a rat.
Well then, what made you wimp out and turn the men back into men? Why did you do it? I would have enjoyed the lifetime supply of bacon.
I did not wimp out. I was forced to promise to release the men and return them to their human form.
But the bacon!
Forget about the bacon. We're not here to talk about pig meat, so stop worrying about the bacon and get back on topic.
Mortals. Ham, sausage, pork, kielbasa, bacon, pepperoni.
If you like pig meat so much, how would you like to be a pig?
Anyway, what made you let him go?
I just told you. I was forced to promise that I would release them.
Boring. I want drama. What happened between you and Odysseus?
That is none of your business. What happened on my island stays on my island if I want it to.
I don't care what you want. My viewers want to know big secrets about Aea. So start spilling all of your dirty little secrets and lies.
I convinced him and his men to stay on my island for a while until he was ready to leave. Although I didn't want him to leave, but he insisted on getting home. But I noticed every day that he fell deeper and deeper under my spell. I loved him more than I had ever loved any of the other men that had come to my island. Then one day he said that he was ready to leave, and when I tried to convince him to stay, he wouldn't, and I had to let him go.
That was the most boring love story I have ever heard. Didn't you give Odysseus instructions for a dangerous trip to the land of the dead? What happened on that trip?
Yes, I did. I warned him before he left that he would have to travel to the land of the dead, where he was to consult with the ghost of Tiresias, who warned of the sun god Helios' cattle on the island of Thernacia. He said that Thernacia would be the death of the sailors if they ate the cattle. They would have a long and difficult journey, and when they made it home, they would have more problems, and their journey would not be over.
That's all the time for Enchantress Circe. Next is Calypso after this break. Welcome back to Good Morning Ithaca. I am your host, and our guest is the beautiful nymph Calypso. Welcome to Ithaca, Calypso. How does our fair island compare to yours?
It's very different, not nearly as beautiful as my own.
Well, it can't please everyone. When did you first meet our king Odysseus?
I stumbled across him floating in the sea, and I saved him by turning him into a fish. He was quite handsome, and I decided to keep him on my island as my personal captive.
You turned our king into a fish?
Didn't I just say that?
What kind of fish?
A kingfish, obviously.
No need to be cruel about it. My viewers eat up the juicy details. How did you two pass the time during his many years spent captive on your island?
Well, since you asked very kindly, I fell in love with him, and my love and his love fell to a conclusion in certain activities.
Now wait a minute. This is not appropriate for some viewers. We have to keep a PG-13 rating.
Well, excuse me, but you asked. I was simply answering your question.
Well, then why didn't you let him leave when he asked?
Because he didn't ask to. I made sure of it. I let him see whatever he pleased in my fire, except views of his home and family in Ithaca. I tried to make him not think about Ithaca or have any thoughts of returning home.
How did he manage to slip out of your grasp?
I didn't completely keep him captive. He was allowed to wander around the island if he wanted. He found a bird and asked it to travel to Ithaca and tell him what was going on. When the bird returned, Odysseus immediately requested to leave my island.
But you didn't let him go. You wanted to stay in control of the mightiest warrior of the age. Why did you refuse to let him go?
I had been alone for so long, and when he showed up, I finally had someone to keep me company. I didn't want him to leave because I didn't want to be lonely again.
But, from what my sources told me, you're not alone. You keep the men you saved captive as birds, not unlike Cersei did.
He was the only human mortal that had been on my island in a long time.
Even so, how did you let him go? No natural force could have relinquished your hold on Odysseus. What made you let him go?
Truthfully, I was forced by the gods to let him go. Odysseus prayed to be released, and the god Hermes visited my island and said Zeus demanded I let Odysseus go. I had no choice but to release him of my hold. I could not defy the gods.
There we have it, the truth of Odysseus' imprisonment by Calypso, told by the nymph herself. Our last visitor, but certainly not the least, is our Queen Penelope, after this quick word from our sponsors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Good Morning Ithaca. We just interviewed the nymph Calypso and discovered the truth about Odysseus' time on her island. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our very own Queen of Ithaca, Penelope.
Thank you, Alexis. It is an honor to be invited on your show.
Let's get started. So, Penelope, when did you first encounter your husband after his return to Ithaca?
When I first saw the man, or when I realized it was him?
When did you first see him?
I first saw Odysseus when Telemachus brought a beggar into our house. He told wonderful stories about my husband, so I paid him in jewels for his tales. I certainly did not suspect that the man in rags in front of me was my proud husband. I did not expect to get those jewels back.
Okay. So how did you realize that he was in fact your husband and not a beggar?
I realized the beggar was my husband when he strung Odysseus' bow and shot it through 12 axe rings, a feat no one has completed successfully except for Odysseus.
Interesting. Tell us, Penelope, what happened while Odysseus was on his journey?
A couple of years after Odysseus left Ithaca to fight in the war, two men, Antinous and Eurymachus, came to Ithaca and attempted to court me. Every year more arrived, growing ruder and cruder with each new arrival. I didn't want to break my wedding vows until I was sure of my husband's death, so I planned a scheme. I would claim to be weaving a shroud for my father-in-law Laertes, unweaving everything each night. My ruse was discovered a few years after it had begun, and the suitors began entertaining themselves with my maids. Telemachus arrived home from searching for his father at the same time I decided to host a contest. Whoever used my husband's bow to shoot through 12 axe rings would be my new husband.
I see. Imagine the students agreed to the contest without hesitation. So what happened at the contest?
Well, obviously no one succeeded in stringing the bow, let alone firing accurately through 12 axe rings. Then a beggar showed up at the contest, and he put in his attempt at firing the bow. The suitors led him, thinking, if I can't shoot this bow, neither can this filthy beggar. Imagine their surprise when, in one fluid motion, he strung the bow and fired the cleanest shot the men had ever seen. He immediately turned around and killed Antinous, the loudest and cruelest suitor. The rest of the men assumed he would kill them, and they begged for mercy.
From what I hear, Odysseus slaughtered all of the suitors. What was your reaction to him stringing the bow, shooting the arrow, and then slaughtering the suitors?
I was amazed and kind of disappointed. I was amazed because I didn't think anyone would be able to shoot the bow. I was kind of disappointed that I had to marry a beggar. I was really relieved when I learned the beggar was Odysseus in disguise.
What was your reaction when you realized he killed the suitors?
I was very happy I didn't have to deal with them anymore.
I bet you were. How did you know for sure that Odysseus was who he said he was?
I mentioned he would have to move back to bed, which only the two of us knew couldn't be moved. He got really angry and demanded to know who could have possibly moved the bed. At that point, I knew the beggar really was my husband.
Thank you, Penelope. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Goodbye, and thanks for watching Good Morning Ithaca.